Can you briefly discuss the history of Pilot at the Helm?
Started as a Pi project by Alex Pamani. That's how it started. About 3 or 4 songs into the first EP, me and my old bandmate who also produced the first EP, we were writing together and it was vibing, so I was like, fuck it, let's make a band. Then a riff started to happen, ugliness really started to show in all sides, and it just started to create this riff that was just, it wasn't sustainable. And then it all kind of came to fruition at a New Year's show last year.
It was a really great opportunity because it was going to be, we're looking at anywhere from like 700 to 1,200 people showing up to this show, most of which are people who are out of our main, target market demographic. So it was a great opportunity for exposure. Unfortunately, our audio guy was out of town, so we had a church guy fill in, and unfortunately, the
mixing board crashed out of his control. He just couldn't do it on the fly. But yeah, and then that just kind of was like, boom, that's it.
Basically, the show got canceled for Pilot at the Helm. That was the low point.
Played at high volume.
I was sleeping, or you were sleeping, or something. All I remember is waking up in a fucking frantic, because, like, going crazy, because I, like, woke up and I saw you, I think you texted me, saying, like, all I saw was John Feldman. And then Mikey also texted me, he's like, what is going on? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I thought the band was done. So he fucking gave us a call. A month later, we got on the line with him, which is surreal. He wanted us out in LA in like May to a showcase show. He was still feeling us out. He wanted us. We had a direct line with him. Wanted to send us demos and shit, and then yeah, potentially go from there. And 2 weeks later, after a phone call, the band split for good. We had split a couple times before, but this time when he said he was done, it was like I was finally like, I'm exhausted by this. This is not sustainable, so it was for real. And then yeah, that just kind of was like validation for everything I'd done up until that point.
March, April, it was just Pi pretty much, and we were just kind of texting back and forth like, what is this gonna be? And eventually it just turned into Pi sending me demos that he had made in his basement of, hey man, what do you think of this? Or, whoa, what about this, chord progression? And I'd be in a hotel room somewhere and be like, yeah man, this is really great. I love this song called Dreamer. And we just kept going back and forth. And eventually I got back home, I think I was on tour at the time. We just sat down and he showed me his library of demos he'd made up, and it became very clear all of a sudden, like, okay, this is the direction we're heading, this is what's happening, and let's get to work.
And who
has jazz or African roots and comes in and just plays and just
Yeah.
totally influences it.
And we're doing fucking Coltrane.
Who knows? Who knows?
Get your chopstick on. That fucking get that ride going.
Buddy Rich, dude.
Oh.
You just and you look at how so many bands do reinvent themselves over time into different sounds. You know, it's hard to tell where this band is gonna what it's gonna lead into, and what sort of outside influences are gonna penetrate the band and the sound and everything. We have these 3 songs, and I think the best thing we can do is almost go outside of ourselves and just go, okay, I like this song. I think that sonically this makes sense to come next, and you know, I don't care whether this is old Pilot the Helm or new Pilot, this is harder, this is softer, where this is going to take us in the future. Sonically, what makes sense, and artistically, what makes sense.
And taking out the outside factors of what's to come or what might not to come, I agree. I need to personally look at it not from that angle of just what would be the best single at this point in time. And honestly, I know it's Numbers Game. You know what I'm saying? The first lyrics for Numbers Game was written early 2018. It was first gonna be an older PTH song, so it was like definitely a little different. And then when I moved in, when I set up my like demo space in Streamwood, that was the first thing. What's going on, man? This is hilarious. Got Jordan in the back. Gonna be hearing a lot of it. Big Muff Pie. This is my White Tiger Xerxes.
So what's the meaning behind Numbers Game?
I mean, basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. Society we live in is an entire numbers game. Maybe we'll just keep it to musicians. Musicians are just constantly judged by not even the quality anymore, just how many likes you get, how many followers you have on fucking Instagram. You also have 14-year-olds getting Botox because they feel like they have to look like the Instagram model that they fucking like every picture of. Like, you have our lives are constantly just run by this poison of a thing. And sure, I'm not a victim. I'm a proprietor here too. Like, I get into it too much, but it's become. There's good pros of social media. Sure, you can connect with anyone in the world at any second. It's unprecedented, but I think the cons really outweigh the pros, and it's turned into this like virus thing because it's not even just a physical thing anymore. It's now in our minds. Like, this is now an ideological fucking poison. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Let me see. So.
It became clear that we needed somebody to fill kind of the producer role and things. And so we started talking about working with a producer and someone who could kind of really professionally put this together and creatively work with Alex on this body of demos. And one of the first guys I thought of was Max Steger.
I started in Blacktop Morning recording, but it wasn't until Empires I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy the gear. Maybe do some kind of chord swell thing, like even just like turning up your volume on the... I mean, that part I think is kind of the same. I'm gonna have to like paste a couple, like another bar from another section. What's awesome about Pi is he's an amazing guitar player and singer and writer. He's got, his triple threat. He can do it all. So I think these songs, while you can tell he kind of built it around the guitar and all the organic instruments, it's definitely a rock record. He still has that pop sensibility and universal appeal with his melodies. So try not to lose that.
It's like, Dreamer's kind of like the poster child for like my whole like coming back, whatever the fuck that means. It's basically just my relationship with music. There's a lot of references to people I know. It had like 6 iterations. So it started with a completely different melody. Then I went to another completely different melody. It's a lot more. It was a little more poppy, a lot more like, I don't even know, Silver Sun maybe, or like maybe like Catfish even. I don't know how to describe it. But there was like the iteration you hear now is about the fifth iteration of like the melody, because Numbers Game and Dreamer were the first two I started with, and Dreamer I shelved for a long time.
I've actually been playing violin for about 13, 14 years. Started actually, funny story, when I was a kid. Wanted to play guitar as my first instrument, and I went and asked my mom if I could play guitar, and she said, no, you're gonna play violin.
Sick. Okay. I think it was the first take.
Right now I'm playing on the track Dreamer for Pi's upcoming album. It's pretty fun. We just checked out some viola for that, so hopefully it'll turn out good.
My mom was a waitress. My dad was a laborer in a tobacco factory. He used to clean like the bins. That's how we started chewing. That's how we all started chewing. I was in and out of the house when I was younger, a little bit. And then, so naturally that like created kind of like an aggressiveness that I always had when I was younger. But I was always a thinker, which was like kind of like a clash, right? So you have like an aggressive fucking kid who just wants to fight all the time, but also a thinker. So that led to a lot of internal conflict. Yeah, I played guitar. I started guitar when I was like about 10. In high school I was in and out of being serious. It would always come back. So like when I was a freshman, I would serious into it, and then I went away from it until I was about a senior, started studying classical. January 2015. So this was like just starting my fourth semester at college, I believe, or third semester. It's January 2015 or 2016. Regardless, it was my first, second year in college. One of my best friends committed suicide. It was me, his little brother. All of us were in a crew, whatever. So he was a massive dealer, right? This kid was pushing so much weight. And he was only a couple years older than me at the time. He died when he was about 22, I believe. Danny. And so he committed suicide, but he left 3 weeks later, like $12,000 worth of Molly coming in. So we only kept it between like three of us. We're like, fuck, what are we gonna do? We can't like throw this down the toilet. So I started selling it. 2 months later, I get a knock on the door from like some fucking SWAT, spec ops dudes. Raid the house, whatever, I get arrested. Spend a week or a little less than a week in 26 in Cook County. So dropped out, started writing, met up with Mikey, started producing new shit. Was in and out of my house even more then. And then yeah, to let us stay here.
I'm 22 now, so I've been playing for like, 14 years then? And it's the only place where I feel like I can actually like really be myself and like show who I am, because like pretty quiet, like introverted, like as a person, but like behind a drum set I'm just like hitting the shit, banging the skins as hard as I possibly can, just having like the best time of my life.
One, he came in and he knew his parts. That's number one. So I gave him respect for that. But then he was doing fucking stick flips and shit and like actually passionate about it. And for me, that's it. That's all you need. Passion. And if you're passionate about the project, like I'm bringing you in or we're doing, then that's it. Dude, I knew the day we left that rehearsal. I was like, that's it. That's it.
Fuck, I'm here again. Do you ever just wish the ones you loved would die?
Yeah, that was the first thing. It's just one of those days I try to keep days like this just to do nothing but write and be creative. I think as an artist you absolutely need those. You have to, because Yeah, you can't rush that shit. But anyways, yeah, I was just sitting around, just fucking around in Ableton and playing my guitar. And then that riff came, and then the whole song just started to build from that riff. Actually, the intro kind of thing was a separate thing that came after the riff, and I thought they were going to be separate songs, but it worked. And then the whole song just came. That one was kind of easier, because this was the only one out of 3 that was like not completely finished, the structure. These are things that no one ever wants to talk about, and that's basically what the whole EP and the whole new thing is. It's like, we all hurt, we're all way over self-critical, we all question authority, all that bullshit. Don't shy away from it. Like, just own you and own your thoughts.